Holy cow. What is going on? They are doing it. Spoiler alert for the rest of the episode. Man, it's unbelievable. And we'll see if they come full circle in a couple weeks. But until then, JOMBOY, everyone send your love to him. They're doing the services for his grandma today. Big part of Talkin Yanks. So send some love his way. So to sub in a guy that you know to get a couple outs out of the pen when you need him, and God, do we need him right now. Peter Moylan. Pete.
Here I am. Thanks for having me. I feel honored. I feel a little nervous today, I'll be honest. This is a big deal for me. You guys are a big deal now.
Yeah.
The Braves are a big deal. There's a lot happening for me right now. I bought a new jacket today.
Yeah.
So I'll be sporting that tonight. But Trev, I know you've been a Braves guy. Tonight's the night we've got to do it, brother.
Tonight is the night. That's a good song. It's a Spice Girls song, I think. When to become one.
Woof. I did not know that.
Yeah, it really is. I used to like the Spice Girls. Still do. Not going to lie. I'd go watch that concert. Peter.
Yeah.
Pita. Jacob. Big Dong. Hey, the Astros. Who would have seen that coming in the World Series? Who would have called that at the beginning of the year? Weird.
Yeah.
What a game last night. Garcia. Now we know how big it is. It's huge because he dropped it on the table last night. And I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh.
Jake, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Me and BBD are in the Bronx. Yeah, Garcia, good for him after his other playoff outing. The hair, the wind-up is like... I love it so much. I wonder how many... Peter, do you think pitching coaches just tried to beat that out of him forever and then he kept striking everybody out so they let it ride, or what?
I think it's honestly more of a timing thing and a not tipping the pitches thing. So it helped his rhythm. I understand there was a mechanical adjustment made between starts, and it certainly has helped him. He was not even close to what he was last night compared to the start before. He was 4, 5, 6 miles an hour velo more. The braking stuff was disgusting. He was big game Garcia.
Ooh.
It's I don't want to get I won't get rumor mill started. I alluded to it a little bit on our live stream last night. Thanks for everyone that was there, but he was ticked up last night. And he's a young guy. He's 24. He didn't throw a ton of pitches the previous start, but I think, what was the stat going around that he had 17 fastballs over 96 miles per hour during the regular season, and last night he had 24 or something. Is that just juice? Is there a radar gun funny business? Because Framber was also sitting up the other night too, and that shouldn't be the story of this playoffs.
Right. It can be, I think the velo tick, and everybody talks about the playoff velo tick, but yeah, I don't call it a mechanical adjustment. I don't know. Call it Toradol. Call it whatever you want. Maybe it was. Maybe they just decided that maybe he got a cortisone shot. Maybe he's on a dose pack. We don't know. There's so many things that could be that happens at this time of year that is just playoff time. There's no tomorrow, so it's guys do things differently. And they maybe just say forget about little niggling things and carry on.
It happens too, he's still a young guy. I know he's pitched, all year this year in the show, but prior to 2020, he's an A-ball.
Yeah.
Freaking A-ball. So my experience is not as a pitcher, but when you do get the call as a young hitter, let me tell you this, the power goes up. There's something about that juice, that adrenaline, something about being in the show in big moments. You are going to be a little stronger. You are going to throw a little bit harder. He did tick up a lot in that game. So I'm gonna go. It's probably the guns a little juice, even though we did get like an email from some smart guy saying that wasn't the case. But I think it's a combination of adrenaline, possibly a dose pack. Peter, nice call right there. And then, I just think that you get that bump, man. Like, he's excited.
So my question is with the velo thing, aren't we all tracked by the TrackMans now? So it all should be consistent?
It should be. But, like, who calibrates those? Like, I know that I've heard this from multiple people that certain organizations will, like, mess with their calibrations of their TrackMan in the minor leagues, so, like, teams don't get, like, perfect reads on players. So like there's tomfoolery going on, no doubt about it.
Wow.
Heavy
stuff, guys.
Early. We'll
heavy stuff.
Oof.
Yeah, we can we'll deep dive into that on hour 3 of this episode. But for now, let's recap last night's game.
Well, Jake.
Okay. Trev.
You burning?
I'm gonna burn a little bit.
Oh
no,
my god!
I think we're all burning a little bit.
Heyo.
But yeah, I'm excited. We've got the hitter's perspective. We got the pitcher's perspective. Me and BBD have been pitching and catching over here for a while. Before we get into last night's game, can I tell you boys about DraftKings a little bit?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
You know, we've been winning a ton of money on the live streams. Jimmy's been placing big boy bets. Last night he bet Yuli Gurriel to not homer. I think it was $1 to win 5 cents.
Boom.
So that's in my bank account. DraftKings, if you've been betting the baseball with us, thank you. Also, big NFL week 7, week 8, 7.
I think 7.
Week 7. And if you bet $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and they win. Trev already gave you the lock. Rams. His Rams. Matt Stafford, his friend. $200 in free bets. If the sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still do their daily fantasy sports contest. Huge cash prizes only at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOMBOY. Bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and win $200 in free bets. If they win, you win. Promo code JOMBOY this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit, $1 wager required. 1 per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Free money.
You ready, Jakey boy?
Let's do it. You got me, BBD?
Let's go, Beavers.
Jake, on your mark, get set, burn.
Houston trying to advance to the World Series with 2 games back at the Pulp Factory. Luis Sergio Garcia would try to stripe up a few good innings. Meanwhile, for the Sox, who else would they want but Nate Dogg Eovaldi as he tries to make it regulate to get the Sox to a Game 7. Michael Yordan Alvarez is looking like the GOAT. Oh, Kike got there, but he couldn't squeeze it off his wrist. It's 1-0 Houston after 1. Guess what? It'd stay that way into the 6th. Nate Dogg got out of big situations. Kind of the story. Luis Garcia, he's going no-hitter until Kike clips him. He gets yanked. Dusty instant with the pull, and it works out for them. Into the 6th. Crazy play. King Tuck grounds out to Schwarber. He turns, he tags, he throws. Yordan scores in the play. It's 2-0 into the 8th. Still 2-0 Sox. Where's the offense? On the other side, King Tuck. How'd you get so funky? Opposite field, Kyle Tucker from Tampa into the Crawford box. It's 5-0 Houston. That would be your final. Luis Garcia, 5.2 shutty, 1 hit. Mayton, Graveman, Stanek, Presley. The Red Sox, season on the line, only muster up 2 hits. And guess what? The bad man is dancing. Houston is going to the World Series.
Hell yeah, Jakey boy.
Snaps for myself.
Yeah,
You
way
are the
to
man.
Go.
Peter, you're the guest of honor today. I'll kick it to you
Yeah.
first. In this game, I mean, what jumps
Yeah.
out? Is it all Garcia or what else?
Look, I took some notes here. There are a couple of the play by Altuve in the first inning, stopping a potential run and a potential little bit of a lift in the first inning. Huge. Garcia, the tick, the uptick, the stuff tick, the everything tick. That was what he was for majority of the season. We've talked about him a lot on our pod. He's really good. So this isn't a shock for me. The keep playing center field off Jordan. He got to the ball off the wrist, could have made the catch, didn't make the catch, cost them a run there. So, look, there was just so much that went Houston's way in this game, and the offense ran out for Boston as far as I'm concerned. They were going to have to bang their way through this series, and they did for the 2 wins, and then they just ran out of steam, it looked like.
Oh, yeah, baby. They ran out of steam. And, Kelsey came on. We were talking to her, and she said that you guys had mentioned, like, the recency bias in fans during the postseason is nuts. Like,
Yeah.
Boston comes out. They drop it. They score a bunch of runs. They can't stop hitting grand slams. And in everyone's mind, it's like they're going to do that every single game. The Astros pitching is toast. Come to find out, it's a game of adjustments, people. Guys can make adjustments, and Erica has some really good notes in our sheet here talking about Alex Cora even noticed the difference between the pitching that they had with Framber and into the Luis Garcia game. They changed up the strategy. A lot of non-competitive pitches early on. Boston hitters are good. They spit on shit like that. So Brent Strom and Martin Maldonado said, let's attack the zone early. Let's get ahead of hitters, which seems like a pretty easy strategy to go in to a game with, but it worked out, and Boston's offense didn't show up. And even with a really good performance by Nate Eovaldi, a really good one, especially getting out of that jam. Was it first and third, no outs?
Yeah.
Second and third, even. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the
third inning, was it? Third?
Strikes 3 dudes out in a row. Boston held on as long as they could, and then the Tucker homer, which we'll get into, but only a homer at Minute Maid. The only park it's a homer at. And that's the Houston that's playing there. That's why we've mentioned many times on this pod, don't matter the lead there. It's not safe because of stuff like that. The Crawford boxes are a joke. They're an absolute joke, dude. And the way like the outfield plays, it's a completely different type of ballpark there. And that's why people always reference, oh, yeah, they have a home field advantage because they cheat. No, it's because it's a tough place to play. The fans are good. It's a good ball club. They know how to play to their ballpark, like better than anybody in the league.
Colorado.
Do
they know how to play to their ballpark? Because we don't think they do. We think they just need a bunch of outfielders that can go get it. I don't know.
Hey, they figured out something this year. Hopefully the Rockies have figured it out after 2 decades of baseball. But how about some Rockies love during the end of the CS finally?
Good owner there.
Brantley Jesus. Brantley catches the ball right next to the Crawford boxes. That was one of the Red Sox big swings of this game, and they're few and far between because Garcia was so nasty. And yeah, Peter, I'm a big game script, whether it's football, baseball. Those are probably the 2 biggest ones. You're right, man. If Garcia, who gets pulled from his first start with some knee stuff or whatever it was, the gun wasn't working for him that day for whatever reason. If he comes into this game, he strikes out Schwarber, but ball gets by Maldonado, and Schwarber's on first, and then a shot, and Altuve makes an incredible play on it. Full extension in a shift, like left side of the bag. Not a lot of second basemen make that play.
And the outfield was open too.
Yeah. So that's where, man, something like that would have changed the whole course of this game. And Trev, kind of to what you were saying before, you and I both are big pat ourselves on the back guys. Always have been, always will be. You were defending Garcia yesterday because you're like, this is a talented dude. Like, he can go and drop it, and he did. The Red Sox big blowout win, I wasn't lost in the sauce too much yet. Definitely a little scared after Game 3 when they put up another 12 spot. But that first game where Boston Mania started kicking in, they hit 2 grand slams in the first 3 innings. And it's like, if Houston did that to the Rockies, we wouldn't say like, oh, that's a normal game. Like, that never happens. So Houston got back into it, and I think more importantly, Trev, you're talking about Brett Strom and Machete and how they started attacking the hitters. I guess that's what I'd have to look more into, because the other thing that I've kind of been beating the drum on, like, yeah, Evaldi's nice and Cora has some good bullpen experience. When the Red Sox are at their best, it's because their 1 through 7 hitters are nasty. And let's be honest, these last 3 games, they had a couple hitters tap out of this series. So I don't know if that's kudos to Houston or if that's, I don't know, question marks to Boston.
It's just baseball. I think it's just the way of a series.
I can attest to that with our series.
Yeah, Kike, look, he went 1 for 4 yesterday. He kind of hit the whole series, but he's not going to put the team on his back every single night. You kind of need someone to do that in these series. Like, somebody has to step up and be the guy that gets the big hit or makes the big play or executes the pitch. And the Astros just did that better in the last couple games of the series.
Yeah,
like Boston, we saw dudes do it. I think it was the second and third game, right? We saw guys step up. We saw like the grand slams, like big hits in moments. Like when you have runners on base, like that's what it takes to win these games. And it's just not going to happen. You're not going to get those hits every single game. That's why, like in these series like this, it's game by game. Like, you can't get too high, too low as a fan, or, I mean, obviously as a player. You just have to go out and attack what's in front of you. And good on Houston. I think their experience in these positions really helped them. Whereas maybe a team that is only in the postseason for the first time in 5-6 years maybe would have folded. But Houston's been here and done it. So, like, they were never panicking, and they showed that.
So the narratives last couple of weeks has been the hot teams, talk about the Nationals where they swept in and took the World Series because they were hot. But the problem with being hot is that if that hotness runs out, then you've still got the fundamental baseball to fall back on. And unfortunately, the Red Sox weren't a fundamentally sound baseball team, as you have Kyle Schwarber playing first base.
Yes.
There's that sort of issue. So that's the same. The same with the Dodgers. They're good baseball teams. So I'm hoping the hotness doesn't run out for the Bravos and we can keep plowing on, because I think we can at least put up a good fight against
necessity. Sometimes they're just trying to be super smart, that's something that they don't have to do. And I think we've seen, like you mentioned, Schwarber at first base. Like, I think he's done pretty damn good over there. Like, he's actually scooped a bunch of balls, and he made a difficult play last night that the Astros scored a run on. But what are you really going to do in that situation? I don't think many first basemen handle it differently, but I don't know, man. When you just look at the Astros team, and I mean, look at Yordan. Like, their lineup is so good. Yordan just
how does he get it? How does he keep getting pitches to hit though? How does he keep getting? That's my question. Is that, like, come on now?
Yeah, and that's,
I think he covers so much of the zone. He's hard to pitch around.
Well, put him on.
Yeah, you just throw balls. Yeah, throw balls. That's it. Yeah,
I'll throw up the 4s at a certain point. Yeah, I think going back to game path, which I truly believe in, if Kike catches that ball, is this game 0-0 into the 5th? Because that changes a lot of pressure pitches. And yeah, that Schwarber play, I think I almost don't want to do the whole thing on it, because I think you just go in circles, like fly. So the only thing you say is, does he not try to tag Correa, step on first and throw home? Do you just field it and throw home? Because then you're at risk of maybe getting no outs, and that's
bigger inning.
It just gets really tricky. So I know Schwarber's not exactly prime Rizzo at first, but that play you can't complain about. There was that double play ball that Devers made the really nice catch on just to get the out. But yeah, you wonder, does that keep it a 0-0 game through 5? Does that keep it a 0-0 game into like later innings on that second Yordan run? But there is something beautiful because, as we're saying, it's the Houston Astros and Correa, Altuve. You know these guys. But the guys who did it in this game are the guys we know because we live and breathe baseball. But Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker, this is almost the next wave. These are the next dudes. These guys are young. These guys are absolute studs. Kyle Tucker racks up WAR defensively and offensively. I mean, Yordan Alvarez, to give someone almost the next Big Papi crown, like that's sinful after watching Big Papi and what he did to my Yankees for a decade and a half. But you see Yordan, and it's like, yeah, yep.
Okay, so I'm a baseball fan, and I watch baseball every day. I had no idea of the season Kyle Tucker had.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he didn't just come out of nowhere. Then he did really after last year, but he's had such an amazing year this year. Holy cow!
And he's 24, but we kind of know the name because he's been around this Astros team since he was 21. So I mean, this was the first. I mean, last year he got full run too, but last year was a weird year for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, you won't find a lot of outfielders that played 140 games with a 917 OPS. Like Kyle Tucker's a dude.
Yeah, Peter, and you'll never forget him again if you just remember that he looks like Abraham Lincoln if Abraham Lincoln was to play baseball.
What do you got on that swing, though? What do you got on that swing? You think that swing's going to be okay?
You know, when I first saw him come up, I thought it was almost like – it almost looks like he was long because he's
like
so upright. He's so upright. He's so – I think he's – how tall is he? He looks so tall. He's 6'4", okay.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be long because a lot of tall guys do have that problem where things they just don't work compactly. But his path is really good. He can get on base. I mean, this year he's at 360. Lefty. I mean, he's only 24 years old too. The guy's a stud.
Yeah, he is.
Absolute stud. And Yordan, you just can't talk enough about Yordan. I mean, I've been on the train for a while. I'm saying he's like a top. If we're just going straight hitting, I think he's a top 5 guy in the league. In the league. Like his at-bats, when I watch hitters, I watch how they take pitches. And I watch how often do they get fooled and make foolish swings. He doesn't, like, ever. And that's usually not with that usually comes without power. So he does that with power. He's the real deal.
And he's facing some pretty, like, I saw the at-bat against Sale, and I was like, oof, okay. This like Sale can make lefties look like they've never played baseball before, and yet he stood in there like he was facing me.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's legit, man. He doesn't. I did a sequence episode about an at bat that he had against Cole earlier on in the season. Cole diced him up first at bat, made him look stupid. Second at bat comes around, Yordan takes him like third deck in Yankee Stadium, makes the adjustment in one at bat. And that's another thing you look for. I mean, you know that as a pitcher, Pete. Like if you see a guy make an adjustment that quick, you're like, okay.
So the crazy part is I didn't started really looking for those adjustments because I was literally a sinker slider guy. So whether you made adjustments or not, I couldn't trick you any more than what I was already trying to trick you. So now that I'm actually talking about baseball and watching other people, I'm like, okay, now I see what they're talking about. And I've noticed that mainly with Young Thick this year, going from at bat to at bat instead of letting something drag for weeks, he fixes it in a couple of days now. So it's been huge.
Yeah, I think that's some of the hitting technology coming into play. Like if you get out of sorts mechanically, they can strap you up to these biomechanical like reading things.
Yeah. Harvard. Sorry, where'd you go?
He's a Stanford man.
Sorry,
instruments. I don't know what the fuck they're called, but they work because you can say, look, my body was here, and now my body is doing this. So like if you're dropping the hands back here and you're losing your barrel, that could tell you in an instant. Whereas before, it's like you had to find it on video,
Yeah.
and then you had to like pinpoint it on the video, and then to go try it in the cage. They can do that much quicker now. I don't know if he's doing that. I'm just saying that's available to players.
I feel much better now too, because until this very moment, I thought that the advantage was so far for the pitchers as far as that, and it still is.
It is.
But the fact that you guys are at least able to see something and
Nope. We might have lost Uncle Pete briefly. He'll be back. We're wrestling the technology. It's good freeze frame on his face right now.
I love wrestling.
Back.
Peter's back.
He's back.
Good
You were
Lord.
running so hot too. It was like the pinnacle of the speech, and then that's just how
Internet.
it is, man.
I get my internet from Australia, guys. I'm sorry.
That's a lie. They don't have internet in
Yeah.
Australia. We all know that.
Good counter, Trev.
We all know that.
Is I don't know. Any final things on this game? I mean, baseball can sometimes be a simple sport. I mean, Boston did not hit, which again is a credit to Houston's pitching at the same time. We're happy for Dusty. Houston has always been a JOMBOY media company. And anything else?
Hey, I want people to go check out Ryan Presley's interview on the field after the game. Talks about his dad passing, and I don't know who was interviewing him, but I can't believe people do this. It made for a good answer, and like it was a really heartwarming. But they asked him, like, what do you think your father's here with you or whatever? And man, he broke down, and you could just see like the passion and the emotion for a guy who, like, Presley's. He's out there doing it at the elite level. Like, this guy's going into the World Series, going to be doing it. Rarely shows that type of emotion until after he's done with his outing and stuff. But it was a cool interview and very touching. Maybe I just like him because I played with him, but I think it's interesting.
Human element makes us human, man. We are still just. Actually, what's funny? I was out getting that new jacket this morning, and a lady comes up to me and she was just staring at me, and she was like, "You're the first person I've seen on TV, and you're actually just a regular person." I was actually at Nordstrom Rack, guys, and she's like, "You're a normal person." So we are humans.
I love it.
I let her touch me too, not in that way, but just rub the tats a little bit.
I
Wait.
Whoa.
She wanted
Felt
to rub
the
your
ink.
tattoos?
Most people are fascinated by the ink, especially if she was a little older, so it wasn't like it was,
Okay.
okay.
It's the Bible Belt, Trev.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Tall.
Shout out
I'm
Nordstrom's Rack.
strutting around the Bible Belt like this, and they're just like, "Oof."
Tall Aussie with sleeve tats at Nordstrom Rack. Yeah, I think there's rules you can be touched there.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with that.
I had I'll do a quick flex on the people. Well, one nerdy baseball flex. I'll get this out of the way. I didn't know Kyle Tucker is the brother of Preston Tucker, outfielder.
Played with him?
Yeah, that's I wonder if I realized that before, but okay, that's a baseball deep cut a little bit. There was a group of 17-year-old, I'd say high school kids on the street the other day. And they were all, I don't know if they were wearing baseball stuff or kickball stuff, but I was like, okay, this is the demo. Like, let's see. They're walking past me. We're at a street corner, and this kid, 2 feet away from me, he's just staring at me. Like, staring at me. And it's like, okay, I've seen that look a couple times. Like, he knows, is he piecing it together? Is he not? Is he a Yankee fan? Is he a nervous kid? Is he going to say something? What's going on? And I'm with my dog, headphones in. So he's just staring. So I go one headphone out, and I'm like, what are we about to do? And he just goes, Storielli. So he had the last name. So he kind of knew what was going on, but I was just like, yeah, man. He's like, all right. And then he started walking away, and then he came back for the pick. Whatever, just flexing on him a little bit. He did not touch me.
How does that feel, though? How does that feel? That's happening more and more for you, I'd imagine.
Just hammer. Just full torqued walking the dog around the park.
Metaphorically speaking.
Metaphorically.
And then you ran into this kid.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Red Sox.
Straight home to Jess.
Congrats. It's happening.
Hey, let's go.
Red Sox, I know you don't want to hear any of this, especially from us, but kind of a hell of a run. Wild card to fucking Stros on the ropes. We'll have all off season to talk about you guys. Houston, we're gonna have another week or so to talk about you. Let's take it. Wait, Trev, final line.
Final line on the Red Sox. We told you Chaim Bloom is a guy. We thought you needed to give him some time. He trades Mookie Betts. You yell at him. But I think you like Verdugo. I think you like what Chaim's been doing. The people he brought in have really helped the organization. Yankees need a Chaim Bloom.
Yeah.
The Yankees need a Chaim Bloom. So feel good about yourselves, Red Sox Nation, or whatever.
I'll take 2 Chaim Blooms. Before we get into tonight's Dodgers-Braves game, Peter Moylan on the post-game show in his new jacket where the lady touched him at Nordstrom's. Yeah. We'll talk about that, and it's brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Dugout Mugs, you guys know they've been BBD trying to cover you up, P. He moves it around. We get flexible here. Dugout Mugs, they're rolling out a crazy promotion. I love their phrasing on this. It's their better than Black Friday deal. It's 35% off. Dugout Mugs is so popular around the holidays, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. They get jammed up, man. They're baseball bats you drink out of, knob shots. So they're getting ahead of it. They said, let's give the people a deal. Let's be real with them. They are giving you 35% off with the code JOMBOY. They've got every team. They've got a ton of players. They got some of our stuff sneaky on there. And it's a get if anyone in your life is a baseball fan, and they probably are. You're probably a baseball fan if you're listening to this right now. Go get yourself a Dugout Mugs. We've been using them on the live stream. It's kind of the ultimate flex if you're a baseball fan. Like, oh, I'm going to watch this game. And yeah, I'll just do it out of this baseball bat that has now been crafted in a mug. Go to dugoutmugs.com. Use code JOMBOY. 35% off. Get ahead of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. They're giving you a better than Black Friday deal. We love Dugout Mugs. And free knob shot. Next 1,000 orders. Whoops. That's normally $25. We love Dugout Mugs. Go check them out. All right. We got a big one in the A tonight. Is that the difference? Peter, you are the guest of honor. I mean, the news cycle for this game already started going. It was supposed to be Scherzer. He taps out the night before. I'm really interested in that because we know Max Scherzer as the competitor of all competitors. So for him to not even sleep on it and give himself a chance to be in this game, I find that really interesting. Looks like Walker Buehler's getting the spot start tonight for the Dodgers. And, man, obviously in Atlanta, I know, Peter, we already talked about, can take over a city. When I lived in Denver, if there was a Broncos game, that town turned orange and blue. It was kind of incredible. A couple Yankees moments, if they were, the city, it just becomes a conversation. It's now 3-2. It's back there. Peter, I see you struggling with technology. Can you
all right
the show? Trevor, with all of that set up,
I just bought some Shiba coin.
Oh my God, Bitcoin
I'm a
company.
crypto guy.
Peter, tell me you're back. Trev, Atlanta Braves versus Dodgers. I guess who wins? Like I just did my Bob Costas. It was so beautiful, and now here we are just humping doorknobs again. So
we are humping doorknobs. I don't know what that means. I think it's gonna all be about Walker Buehler. We've seen this postseason, Jakey.
Yeah.
That a day early rest. This one's 2 days early, right? It's a 3-day rest start for Buehler. It just hasn't been kind to guys. And whether that's because it's a bigger workload after 2020, everyone has been saying that. I never understood it. And maybe this is what they're talking about. Guys just haven't been as sharp going on a short rest. So I think it's all up to him. If he struggles early, I think the Braves go out and just take the damn thing. If he can go give him 5 good innings, keep him in the ball game, then it's we'll see, man. But I think everything rests on him.
I like that. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a big moment for Walker Buehler because Peter was saying it before, and I'm going to call him now because we're just easier than wrestling with tech the rest of the way. Yeah, man, I mean, the story.
Please leave your message
my God. Peter Moylan. I'll tell him to call me. You know, man, I was kind of asking you guys beforehand, like, you know, how much do athletes feel this? And, you know, it's a lot the press. Oh, that's right. Peter needs to use internet. But, like, I'm not on the internet. Oh, God, what a technology disaster.
Don't use my robot picture on Peter.
He's using your robot picture. Get over it. FaceTime audio, Peter Moylan. Say that again?
There is a lot going on right now.
Here we go. We're back. The people have you. Yeah, man. I mean, I felt like I was Bob Costas teeing you up like Olympic Games, gold medal.
It looked like it. It really looked like it.
I was in the zone. And then someone in the chat said it looks like the inside of Jake's whole apartment is sticky. So we're covering the spectrum still. Peter, I'll let you run. I don't think you're going to be able to hear Trev, and that's, you know, lucky for you.
I'm going to keep trying to fight to come back in. Do you want me to? Because I really want to join this conversation.
Go, let it rip right now. I've got you in the microphone. I mean, I was teeing up how it's kind of the talk of Atlanta right now and everything that's going on. Give us everything you got for tonight.
Look, the narrative has to be tonight. There's a lot of around Atlanta, obviously, with a 3-run lead last year and then blowing that. But I don't think it was the baseball team they were facing last year. Still, the baseball team they're facing this year. I feel they're wounded. I feel like the Braves had this lined up. They've had their pitching lined up. Their offense needs up. I just think they need to, like they have done all year. It was lost the other night, but it wasn't like they blew. It was just a non-max free performance to a non-max free game, and we still Anderson going tonight with a full rested bullpen and Charlie Morton as insurance plan. So it's not for the Bravos.
Okay. Trev, thoughts?
Love you, Pete.
He says he loves you. Briefly. Yeah, man. What should we expect out of Ion tonight, Peter? Do you think it's going to be, shades of Luis Garcia, young pitcher, bouncing back, turning it on, a lot of change-ups?
I don't think see the 4 mile an hour up. I see him throwing around 98, but I think that might be a little bit too much to ask for. I think he'll have a shortish. It pulled the trigger pretty quickly on him last time because the stuff wasn't there. I think he'll have the same sort of idea now, but getting swings and misses. I think they'll ride him as far as they need to, probably get him through 5 and then go Minter, Jackson, Matt Six, Smith for the dagger.
Ride that pen all the way to the dance, huh?
They're rested. They've got 2 days off now. The beauty of losing, you didn't have to release the squad the other night. So we have multiple guys with multiple days off that are ready to go multiple innings tonight if they need to, and or go multiple days in a row.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that angle. I mean, they have been riding the bullpen. They've been good, and now they do get the double day off. And I think that also ties into the narrative that we're talking about. Like, and Peter, you're a Braves guy. There's no shame in that. But man, if this goes 7, like that's a long 24 hours. Like that's a long day. That's a lot of nerves. You just can't put yourself in that spot. And then you can almost put bullpen usage back on top of that.
I agree. If we think that if we lose today, that we can get it done tomorrow. As I said, we have Morton, and Morton's the factor. That's what people keep saying. And I know he just gets to a level that's locked in. It's trouble for anyone. But they just don't have arms left. I know they paid a price, but I just feel like they're running on fumes. And if it's going to be a year the Braves can do it, it's this year.
I like that. Peter, I'm going to end this. If you want to try to rejoin and wrestle it for a minute, we can try that. I know. Sorry, our technology is kind of sucking butt.
it's probably me. I'll be honest. This is what happens to me. I'm going to work something out real quick.
All right. Love you. See you in a minute, hopefully.
You will. Okay, buddy.
Bye.
See you, mate.
All right, Trev. We got rid of the riffraff there.
Jeez, Peter. Let's call your internet company.
Yeah.
Let's upgrade a little bit. Need it.
Yeah. Maybe we can reach out to the same, because it was the company that dug out the moat for JOMBOY also does Wi-Fi, so maybe we can get Peter's moat and Wi-Fi game up. Trev, I think for the Braves, it's kind of clear. We know the pressure is somewhat on them, but they're back home. That's nice. The rest of bullpen, Freeman, Albies, we know the gang. The Dodgers, Walker Buehler, short leash. I mean, what's their game plan? I mean, is it Walker, Gratterall, Knebel, Trine, and Jansen?
All their guys.
It's all hands on deck. It's elimination game.
It is. I mean, they're going to try to. They want Walker to give him some length.
Yeah.
But if he struggles early, I believe it'll be an absolute quick hook. It has to be.
Yeah.
It's an elimination game. Everyone's ready. I think for both teams, everyone is ready to pitch, no matter who you are. I mean, I don't understand the Scherzer thing. Like, if he's going to start tomorrow, I'd assume he'd be available for today, like later in the game. But if he was available in the bullpen, why wouldn't he start the game? I don't know what's going on. I think there's some deception happening. I hope he's okay, because obviously we love Max. But all hands on deck. It's going to be – I love elimination games like this because – it almost becomes like a different game.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be managed like a regular old baseball game. I mean, this is going to be, we might not have any bench players, come the ninth inning. I feel like Dave's going to empty out the bench, take every advantage that he can find, especially if Walker gets into trouble early, which, man, I've been a Walker guy.
Yeah.
Big games, he steps up. So, I have that confidence in him. But what the postseason has shown us with the short rest and guys not being as sharp, I don't know. It scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I guess, Walker, he's young, which, you could spin that plus or minus, to be honest. I do think elimination game can help him because, there's nothing to lose. If you're Walker Buehler, you're not saving yourself for the 95th pitch. You might only get 60 bullets today. So you might as well drop it. So we'll see. I know, a couple Vandy man, so I'm biased there, but I could see. Yeah. I'm not going to bet against Walker Buehler in this game. I just think, let's say it does go playoff baseball, and he's not super sharp because he's on a couple days rest. Now we're getting away from Knebel, Gratterall, Trinan, and Jansen, and you're going to have to get, playoff elimination innings from Vesia, Bickford, Brule. Are we going to see David Price? Are we going to see Gonsolin? A lot of those guys are good ball players, but it's the playoffs and elimination game and all that. So, really interested. I'd love to see David Price come into this game. I mean, just for a good storyline. I mean, the old man, Peter Moylan's got a smile on his face like his technology might be working.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we got you. We got you.
Welcome back.
And just like that, we're back.
If you're the Braves, it's just paramount you just put runners on. I know that sounds stupid. Obviously you want to put runners on base, but put runners on. Force these relievers to come in today without a clean inning. Make them throw with runners on base. You don't want to see these guys with clean innings. You don't want to see Trinan come in with clean innings. You don't want to see Gratterall, you want to have base runners on against the guy. So, make Dave Roberts bring them in higher leverage situations, I think is going to be key. And obviously, besides getting to Buehler, which if you listen to Coney this morning, he filled in for me on Baseball Today. He was talking about that. Jake, you're saying he doesn't have to go 6 or 7, so he can let the bullets fly early. Coney was saying, you just don't have that on short rest. You reach back and you want to throw that pitch with conviction, and the conviction isn't there. That late life isn't there. Your accuracy isn't there. So I'm just so torn. I'm just so torn on the whole Walker thing. I hope he comes out and shoves it, but I'm a little bit scared that the short rest is going to take its toll on him.
Peter, for your Braves, what's going on with the offense? I know Eddie Rosario has been awesome, as good as it gets, literally. Freddie has found it after his slow start to this series. Do you think it's more important that some of the other guys get it going, like Dansby, Darno, Young Thick's kind of having a tough series?
Young Thick's had a tough series, and that's been the big difference for me, especially in that 4-hole, is that he's been contributing throughout the most of the year, and that's what we've been missing. But legitimately, that's what we've been missing. But I think we can cover it because we're so deep. I just honestly think Freddie has stepped into his element. He's had a couple of big moments. He had his big moment at DS. Scuffled, obviously, like we've never seen, and then came back in LA. I hope he's the Freddie that he was in LA coming back. He needs to have a big moment again. If we're going to do this, we need Freeman to be locked in, because it's not going to be the narrative of, oh, we got through it without Freddie. That's not going to happen for game 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete, what are they going to do about like the base stealing?
That's
like,
dude.
Are the Braves? Are we going to see some pitch outs today? Like, I haven't seen one.
So I was just going to talk about the difference between Trainer and Gratterall with runner on first base compared to when there's not, especially in a leverage situation where there may be a runner going, right? Their stuff just goes downhill. You can see it. They're trying to be quicker. Trainer can't be the 1-7 that he is to the plate normally. He's got to be quicker. So the stuff suffers, right? We have not done a job at all holding runners. I mean, it's almost like that part of the game has just been forgotten, and we're giving them free bases, and runners in scoring position, a runner on first compared to a runner on second is night and day. When your mentality, you don't know how hard it is to be able to look away from your target and then go back to that target and pitch. That's the hardest thing coming back from rehab, is that adjustment from having to throw bullpens looking one way to the first time you have a simulated game and you're having hitters. That adjustment changes everything. And then the intensity's there. And it's just, you're one pitch away, one bad pitch, and that guy scores. One bad pitch, that guy scores. It's like, we've got to do a better job.
Do you think I'm calling for it. I'm hoping it happens. Like, we got to give Darno a chance. And that's like, give him a pitch out, give him a quick step, like something. Right.
Slide step. Give me a 1-1 at the plate so he can even at least make a good throw and get someone out. But yeah, I've been a little frustrated with that throughout the first 5 games. It's just I think they're 18 for 18.
11 for 11,
11 for
aren't
18,
they?
okay.
11 for 11.
11 for 11.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the total? Because it's not just us. It feels like there's been one run thrown out, and it was Rosario.
Yeah. No, I mean the Braves are.
Well, then last night, Maldonado hosed Verdugo.
We didn't give that enough.
We didn't even talk about that.
We didn't give that any love, which is.
I was out of my chair. I was out of my fucking chair when that happened, because that pitch, like, Graveman comes back from 3-1, and I was thinking along with that at bat, we're just totally time hopping now. That's okay. Good. There is no time. It's a metaverse. Someone is controlling us. Don't worry about it. Graven makes that pitch. I was thinking along with the at bat. He went change up 3-1. I was like, dude, the guy's gonna throw another change up right here. Gasses him up top of the zone. He didn't hold the runner on either at all. Verdugo got a hell of a jump, but the pitch was up, and Maldonado throws the fucking strike, bro. Hot. That's baseball.
He hadn't thrown a change up before.
Hit me with baseball, right? BBD.
You get the baseball there, babes. On it.
Baseball. Thank you.
Everyone's favorite. Yeah, I'm like personally a little sad that we saved the double play for now, but that's how you keep the people going through the show. Because I mean that's as good as baseball gets. Strike them out, throw them out. And yeah, I mean, sometimes fans just want to see that athletes care, which I know sounds really dumb to you guys, but when you see genuine fist pumps like that, little league fist pumps, Maldonado, when Maldonado was doing his fist pump, he wasn't thinking about his rotator cuff. Like, he was thinking about giving the biggest fist pump he could possibly give. That was awesome.
And that's why he's there. I don't think he's got a hit, right? So, I mean, that's the reason why he's on the team, is to make defensive plays, get the pitchers throwing strikes, and throw people out. And he's done exactly that. He's earned his spot.
He's going to play in the league forever because he can catch and throw and handle the pitching staff. He'll be like Yeah. Forever.
The stolen base thing is so funny. We pretend to hate the nerds, although we love analytics and what they've done for the games, but there's some parts that will have to come back. But it's so funny, the chain of events that ends up being so obvious, especially we're seeing it in this series right now. Stolen bases get less of a priority, so less players care about it, which makes you have catchers that are, you prioritize hitting over throwing or framing, whatever it is. Pitchers, they say that stolen bases don't matter, so the pitchers care less. So when you put all of that in the bucket, if you can swipe a bag, it's yours.
It's so fucking crazy, dude. This is what happens. Everyone gets this information. Somebody gets it first. Okay? They start applying these things. Hey, we don't really care about stolen bases because we're trying to get swings and misses. Before this, it was sinker ball out, dude. Everyone can handle pitches at the bottom of the zone. Let's get swings and misses at the top of the zone. Let's go vertical instead of side to side. Well, now guess what's back in fashion because everybody's going top to bottom. The sinker's back in fashion now. Stolen bases were gone because we want to drive the ball. We don't want to give up outs. You have to steal at a 77% clip for it to be worth it. So no one cares about it. We start doing pitch framing, getting down on one leg. We don't care about holding runners on. Now the stolen base is back in fashion because the smart teams are exploiting the fact that everyone has gone the complete opposite way. You got to zag when people are zigging. And that's the funniest thing about all this information is it's just going to go cyclical. It's going to go cyclical because it's just going to be the teams out in front. Those are the ones that benefit. The teams that lag behind are going to
always lag behind.
it's like crypto, bro.
Oh, boy.
How about that?
Oh, boy.
Holy God.
Yeah. How about that connection right now?
God.
You got to get there first with the information.
CryptoPod.
Peter?
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah.
Stinkers are back in
Yeah,
fashion.
It's tough to follow. Yeah. And I think Trev, that was obviously beautiful, especially the crypto ending. But shout out to Jamalama Ding Dong. Baseball has always corrected itself, and that's exactly what we just talked about. Like that whole pitcher stolen base process, like that is baseball correcting itself. And I think when he points to shifts, he says baseball's already proven it's not going to correct. Like hitters have shown they're not going to correct that one, and that's where we might have to govern shifting a little. There's
been a change, I feel like, in the playoffs. Guys have been trying, especially like Trey Turner got a couple of knocks the other day, beating the shift. It's been.
Didn't it Ozzy? Did Albies? He was just poking.
Freddie's first two knocks were just bang bang against the shift, so that got him hot.
And isn't that funny,
dude? It's
like,
hey.
If
you've ever played a baseball game,
okay,
you've been on defense, put runners on base and see what the freak happens, dude. It's easy to play defense with nobody on base. You start putting guys on the bags, you have a ton of different responsibilities. Now all of a sudden, maybe your range suffers because of that. It's just different ball. So, watch next year the good teams, the Astros, the Dodgers, the Rays, they'll probably be bunting against the shift a bunch just because they want to clog the bases. Clogging the bases, mark my words, clogging the bases is going to come back into fashion. I know we still like OBP here, but I'm talking about beating the shift to clog the bases will come back in fashion next year. I'm calling it.
Predicted live today. Anything else on your Braves, Pizza?
No, I've said it for a month that this has felt different, and I still stick with that until tomorrow if we have to play.
until there has to be another one. Hey, I know time traveling metaverse, Trevor's Bitcoin podcast. What was up with Jordan's triple? Why was Renfroe missing? What was that?
I think they had him shifted because the way the Astros park plays is that like left center all the way to like center, right center is big, and then it really jets in there in right field. So maybe they're just like saying, screw it. If he hits a ball there, it's just a double, but he pulled it down the line and it was a triple.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like that was Like, that's going to be a bizarre one to look back at in a few years, I think, that we're like, wait.
He also, his spray chart's probably the other way. I mean, I don't know.
I think we brought
I'd
up
have to
we
guess.
brought up the spray chart. I think they just took a bet that, like, if Yordan Alvarez hits a ball down the line, Hunter Renfroe's got a good arm, that we can push him as far as we want, and Yordan won't go for 3. And then, by the way, that led to the whole Schwarber play, because Yordan's on
it did.
3rd instead of 2nd. So, like, man, baseball, all these little moving parts come to
Did
put
I see that
together.
they're starting to call some of the Cora moves out?
What's that?
Some confusion with
Yeah.
some of the moves that Cora made?
Well, Cora's not a good manager anymore because he lost.
Okay, so it's instant.
So once you win, you're the best,
Okay.
and all the decisions work, and it's great. But now he's not because they lost.
Fair enough.
That's just how the world.
Fair
It's
enough.
true.
Glad someone
That's what us in the
understands.
media call journalism.
Cutthroat.
We know this.
Just cutthroat.
Journalism, Bitcoin, and all of it. Boys,
Love it.
I think we got to start wrapping it up. Peter, thank you for hopping in today. King BBD producing his butt off. Go check out Peter Moylan, Farm to Fame. Braves post game tonight. Trevor Plouffe and his crypto podcast coming soon. Jake sucks. Gotta get myself
Let's just go Shiba Coin. Me and Nestor.
on.
Doja Cool.
Diversified BBD. Let's go.
My gold and silver
Get one, Jock.
and strip clubs.